Hello everybody, welcome to DeathGroundReviews. So it's been a while. I took a little break. I needed a little break, took a little break, but I'm glad to be back. And today I want to start us off with a introduction to the subgenre cosmic horror. So I'll talk about, some of his trademarks, and I'll mention some notable practitioners in the field. So what is cosmic horror? So I understand it as stories about alien entities that are unimaginably powerful. They're malign, and they're sort of the true rulers of the universe. And we tiny people are at the mercy of these alien beings who have the power to reshape our reality. And we are sort of the poor, insignificant collateral damage to all of their various efforts. And that's sort of the horrifying, monstrous distortion behind these kinds of stories, is the fact that we really have no means or power of fighting back. Yeah, these kinds of stories, they explore just the terrifying, infinite possibilities existing in a massive universe. A universe so great that we can't even comprehend it. In fact, looking into the abyss of it might just drive you completely insane, right? Which actually segues into one of the great practitioners of it. Some actually call him the creator of cosmic horror. And if you haven't read any of his books, you've certainly heard of him. The man is H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, his name's practically a subgenre in and of itself. You've often heard the term Lovecraftian whenever you see a movie or read a story that uses elements of his type of fiction. And some of his most recognized works are The Call of the Cthulhu, At the Mountains of Madness, and The Shadow over Innsmouth. The Call of Cthulhu is a personal favorite of mine. It tells the story of Francis Wayland Thurston, who investigates notes of his dead uncle and other accounts about a mysterious cult that worships Cthulhu, which is a monstrous human octopus-dragon hybrid that lives in the sunken city of R'lyeh. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Some call it R'lyeh. And those dreams influence reality. So, you got all the elements there of cosmic horror. You got this mysterious, godlike alien entity living under the sea who has this power to reshape reality. And mankind is collateral damage to its infinite power. And as I said, Lovecraft, he's almost a subgenre in and of himself. I mean, anybody that uses stylistic traits that are relative to a Lovecraft mythos, they call it a Lovecraftian story. But there are other works out there that are still effective in the subgenre of cosmic horror, but they're not necessarily pinned under the label of Lovecraftian. One by John Langan comes to mind called The Fisherman. And I haven't read this one yet, though it very much intrigues me. It's a tale about these two widowers, Abe and Dan, and they discover a creek in the woods of upstate New York, and there's this mysterious figure there known as Der Fischer. And I guess if they make some kind of secret pact, they can regain what they mourn and have lost. But there's some kind of great price to regaining that. And Laird Barron described the book as sort of like a river runs through it, straight to hell. And that book sounds quite intriguing to me. I haven't read that one yet. There is some great films in the cosmic horror subgenre. So we have one that is very Lovecraftian. Actually, it's directly based upon a Lovecraft story called The Color Out of Space. And the movie is of the same title, directed by Richard Stanley. It stars Nicolas Cage. And actually, we did a review of this movie on the channel earlier. It also stars Madeleine Arthur. And But oh yeah, it's an excellent movie within the subgenre of cosmic horror. It tells the story of the Gardner family who they battle this extraterrestrial infection and mutation after a meteorite lands in the front yard. And it's just a a really bizarre, fun, just nightmare, you know. The color effects in the movie are excellent. The mind-bending reality shifts are fantastic. And Nick Cage just gives he's at his bizarre best in this movie. So I highly recommend that one for cosmic horror. Though, yes, very Lovecraftian. Another one I really liked, although it was kind of panned when it first came out, but it's developed a cult following over the years, and I loved it. It was Event Horizon, starring Sam Neill. It came out in 1997. It's a movie about this crew of astronauts that investigate a missing spacecraft that spontaneously reappears orbiting around Neptune. As the crew investigates the spacecraft, they discover a lot of these sinister forces that are still at work inside of it. And, just a film that had a very creepy, ominous atmosphere throughout. And, I really enjoyed that. I had a blast watching it. There's a lot of great scenes that were deleted from it. The ending reveal is just stunning. And a lot of it was cut out, and for good reason. A lot of it was done so for pacing and plot. A lot of the scenes didn't really contribute to the plot, and so even though it maybe added to atmosphere, it didn't, they had to cut it out so the film wouldn't be so long. But it's fun. Go back and look at some of the deleted scenes, and that are at least the ones that are still available. I think some of them were lost or destroyed, but yeah, interesting film, Event Horizon. And that concludes my introduction to the subgenre of cosmic horror. Please let me know in the comments some of your favorite books and movies of this subgenre. I'd love to hear about them. And this is DeathGroundReviews, the monster that devours horror, suspense, and all those things the fantastic. I'll see you next time.